guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have 5 looks for you that I recreated from the Ice Cream music video by BLACKPINK and Selena Gomez. So I did all 5 of them. I will throw some images right here on the screen, and I'm so excited for this video to finally come out. So thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see how I got all of these looks, then just keep on watching. So I'm going to start off with the base, and I'm going to do one base for all 5 looks because they all have really beautiful, dewy, natural, youthful skin. So that's what I really want to do for all 5 looks. So I'm going to start by using the Porefessional Hydrating Primer from Benefit, and I'm going to be using my sponge from the Makeup Eraser, which I really love. And now to make the skin a little bit more highlighted and just very bright, I'm going to be using this correcting stick. This one is from Cover FX and it's in the shade Lavender. I'm just applying this right underneath my eyes and also a little bit down the nose, on the forehead, just anywhere I want a little bit more of a highlighting effect. And now I'm going to go in with one of my favorite foundations at the moment, which is the Revolution Pro Foundation Drops. I absolutely love the effect that something like a foundation drop gives me because it's very natural and light and will really fit this kind of look. Now for concealer, I'm going to be trying this one out today. This one is from Revolution and it is the Conceal and Define Infinite Longwear Concealer. This doe foot is really big and kind of reminds me of the Shape Tape, which is one that I really love, so I'm hoping this one will be just as good. For the under eyes, I'm going to be using this powder from Becca. This is the Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder, and this will help with this whole like more dewy light look and will really brighten up this area. And then for the rest of the skin, I'm just going to be using the Coty Airspun to set the entire face. Now I'm going to be setting my skin with this Fix Pinklite from MAC, just to both set the makeup and then also bring back a little bit of that dewiness that we might have lost with the powder. Now to bring a little bit more warmth and color to the skin, I'm going to be using some blush and bronzer. And for that, I'm going to be using this blush bar from Benefit, and I'm just going to dip into Hula and then a little bit of a mix between Dandelion and California. For all 5 looks today, I'm going to be using the Morphe X Maddie Ziegler palette just because it has a bunch of neutrals but then also a variety of really fun colors that I can use to create their looks. Also be using a little bit of the pinks in the Natasha Denona Love palette. The pink tones in here will work perfectly with a few of the looks, so let's get started. So Selena's look is really all about the liner. So I'm going to start with some really basic neutral shades just to make the lid look a tiny bit more put together. So I'm going to use a big fluffy brush and go into Butterfly Fantasy. And this is just gonna go all over the lid. And now with that same brush, I'm going to go into Latte. And I want this to be a little bit more hazed out, which is why I'm using this big brush. But I am going to concentrate it more on the lower part of the lid. And now I'm going to go into Maddie Girl, and this will just go right between the two and blend out the edge to make it a little bit more of like a gradient effect. Now for a shade that will make the inner corner pop, I'm going to go into Angel, and this will just go in the inner corner and inner part of the eye. So now it's time for the trickier part, which is the eyeliner. So basically the eyeliner she has on is a little bit on the thicker side on her actual eye, but then once it wings out, the wing is super tiny and sharp. So that's what we're going to try to do today. And what I like to do is basically start from the outer edge of the eye. So I just place my brush right there and pull it in. And again, we want it to be a little bit thicker, so this kind of thickness would work best. Then once I get about halfway in, I want to stop right there and go into the inner corner. And once we start from the inner part, we want it to be a little bit thinner and then going out, becoming thicker. So it will work best with like this outer edge. So I just placing and making the tiniest little line. And then once the two lines connect, I'll just work on that connection until it looks smooth. Now for that wing, we really want to make it long but also super thin. So again, with the very, very tip of the brush, I'm just going to sort of place it at an angle and just drag it. So right now, I don't know if you can tell, but this is not a complete line. This is just like the first impression of the brush, just because I want it to be super precise. And then I can just go back and work on that. Now I do recommend keeping a Q-tip on hand because it is so easy to mess up, and I have a tiny bit of a boo-boo right here that I want to fix, so I'm just going to wet it. You can also do it with water, but this works for me. And I'm going to go right where I want to fix it. Now it's time for some mascara. I'm going to be using one of my new favorites, which is the Marc Jacobs at Lash Mascara. You can also just go ahead and apply some false lashes like she has, but because I am going to be doing 5 looks today, I don't want to keep having to take them off, so I think mascara will work best. Now to complete Selena's look, we just need that Barbie pink lip. So I'm going to be using this liquid lipstick from Jeffree Star. This is the Velour liquid lipstick in the shade Diva. And I'm going to be applying the first little bit with a brush just for a little bit of extra precision, and then I'll go in with a doe foot. And this is Selena's final look. Now we will move on to Lisa's look, because it is basically a take on Selena's look with the eyeliner, but hers is a little bit more unique because she has that little glitter layer on top. Also, her eyeliner itself is not as sharp as Selena's. It is more of a regular winged liner like we know it. So I'm going to go back into the eyeliner. By the way, this is the roller liner eyeliner from Benefit. And we just want to make this edge not as pronounced and sharp. We want to go back into the edge and connect. So basically what we did is just made the transition not as sharp from the thick liner to that wing, but we just made it more of a connected, just winged regular liner. Now it's time for the glitter, and we're going to be using this one from Stila. This is the Starlash glitter top coat. I think this is meant to go over lashes, but we're just going to use this as an eyeliner today. It does have a really nice sharp tip, so that would work best for us. And what I'm going to do is just draw right on top of the eyeliner we already have on. We might need to go a few times over this line just to make it really nice and pronounced. Now to set it, I'm just going to go into the Love palette and go into the shade Blind with a angled brush like this. And I'm just going over this line, and this will both make it last all day and stop it from transferring to your upper lash line or your upper lid. I'm also going to go back into the glitter and just go a tiny bit over it to add some of that glitter that we lost. Now we'll move on to the lips, and I'm actually going to be leaving this liquid lipstick on, but I'm going to add a little bit of a tint to it. So this is the Pinky Binky Art Pop Enamel tint from Tony Moly. So basically this is just a lip stain that you can also use for your cheeks and stuff. So I'm just going to wipe a little bit of the excess off because I don't want too much product on. And looking into a mirror, I'm just going to dab this in the middle, pucker my lips a bit, and blend it out. And I'm just doing that with my finger. You can do it with a brush or with a sponge, but this is what I like best. And what this creates is a little bit of a gradient, or that popsicle biting look that is very big in Korea and I think is just absolutely beautiful. So this is the finished look. Now we'll move on to the next look, and for that, sadly, we're going to have to wipe all of this off. So basically, I'm going to leave the base on, but all the eye makeup and the lips are just going to have to go for now. And now it is time to tackle Rosé's look, and I'm going to go back into the Maddie Ziegler palette and go into the shade Maddie Girl. And this is just going to go all over the lid. Now with a really light hand, I'm going to go into She Insists, which is this purple, and I'm just going to do a very light wash of color. Now I'm going to go into the Love palette, and I'm going to go into Valentine with that same brush. And this will go below that first color we put and just make this whole like pink fantasy situation. And I do want a little bit more purple on like this outer edge, so I'm going to go into Trust and mix it with Valentine. This will just deepen everything up. Now going back into She Insists from the Morphe X Maddie palette, I'm going to also go over that outer edge. And going back and forth between colors will really help make everything look a little bit more cohesive and just flowy. And I really love that look. Now, unlike the first two looks, she actually has some eyeshadow underneath her eyes as well. So we're going to go back into She Insists with a little bit of Maddie Girl and smudge that on the lower lash line. And then with Valentine, I'm going to drag that line all the way to the inner corner. Now it's time for that beautiful smudged out eyeliner, so I'm going to go back into the Maddie Ziegler palette with an angled brush, and I'm going to Go Home, which is this beautiful burgundy color. Her liner basically starts after her lid, so just as a wing. So that's what I'm going to do. This will be the very first coat. And now I'm going to go with Pantera and Latte and go over that and deepen it out. Now this layer will be a little bit more precise than the first one. And lastly, I'm going back to that burgundy purple color and blending it out. Now for the lips, I'm going to be using another JSC liquid lipstick, but this time I'm not going to be applying it all over, but I am sort of going to go back to that like method of putting it in the middle. So with the doe foot, I'm just going to tap the middle and then blend it out. And that way, most of the color is inside and then sort of fades out and creates, again, that youthful, really beautiful look. And this is this look all finished up. Now we'll move on to Jisoo. She has the same lip on but a different eye. So again, we're going to wipe it all off. So Jisoo's look is also all about the liner, but actually her eyeshadow is focused on the lower lashes. And there she has this like really beautiful pink. So we're going to go back into the Love palette and we're going to go into Giving. And this will just go all the way from the inner corner all the way down underneath the eye. And this doesn't really give much color, but it helps with this overall like sweeter look. And now we're going to move on to the liner. And hers is a little bit on the thinner side, just throughout the entire eye. And then wings out a little bit more like in a flick. So that's what we're going to do today. So for this one, I'm actually going to start with the wing. And keep it just very thin and light. And then she also has two little dots with an eyeliner underneath her right eye. So we're going to do that as well. And this eyeliner is really not that great for dots. So I'm just going to move on to a different one for that. This is the Doucce, D-O-U-C-C-E. I'm not really sure how you say that. It is the Fierce and Fine Graphic Pen. And this is the finished look. The wipe is out again because we're moving on to the final look, which is probably my favorite, It is Jennie's look and it is really fun and bright and colorful. So I'm going to start with the inner corner and work my way out, and I'm going to go with the flat shader brush and the Love palette into Pure Love. And this will go right in the inner corner. Sadly, the camera actually cut me off, but what I was explaining is that I'm going into another palette because I really wanted a hot pink. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Alyssa Edwards palette. And I'm going into Texas Made. And this is going on the first third of the lid. Now with a clean brush, I'm going to go into She Insists. And this will be on the middle part of the lid. This shade does have a little bit of fallout, but you can just sweep that away with a brush. Now I'm dipping with my finger into Valentine, which is the light pink, and I'm just going over the hot pink to blend it in a little bit better. Now with the other side of the brush, I'm going to go into another purple, and this one is Dream. And this is just going to intensify the color. Now with a third and final packer brush, I'm going to go into this palette again and go into Mint. And this is the third and final color. To be honest, I was really disappointed with this mint shade. I don't think it's as beautiful and impactful as it can be. So I'm going to go into the ColourPop Mint to Be palette. And this has like a ton of beautiful mints. And I'm going to pick up Seltzer and just apply it over it. Okay, so this is definitely much nicer, and now I'm going to go into the purple again and just make sure everything is very seamless and that you can see all the different colors. Now for the under eyes, I'm just going to go into M3 and blend this to my lower lashes. Her liner is also very much a simplistic liner with a little bit of a wing, so I'm going to go back into the roller liner and just do that. Now I am going to go back and apply a little bit more mascara because they did get covered a little bit with the shadows. So again, I'm just applying that same one from Marc Jacobs. Now for the lips, I'm going to go into another one of these Pinky Binkies. This one is in a different shade. This one is in shade number 2, and that first one I used, I actually didn't say before, was in shade number 4. And this is the fifth and final look. So this is definitely my favorite look because it absolutely screams ice cream, which I am so excited about this video to finally come out. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you learned a little bit with all of the looks that we did. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up for all of the love for ice cream. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye!